People know me, Cristina Mas, and I am the brand, but try to do it in a way that you can't have every client always want to talk to you, text you, email you, have a meeting with you. It's not feasible to scale.
Welcome to Marketing Your Way podcast. I'm Anastasia Mann, marketing strategist, agency owner, and business mentor. But more importantly, I'm your guide to breaking free from the 9-to-5 and building a marketing business on your terms. I know what it's like to crave more freedom, more impact, more income. I've been there, and this podcast is your shortcut to get in there faster. Each week, we dive into real strategies, expert insights, and mindset shifts to help you launch, grow, and scale your marketing business with confidence. And just in case you're wondering, yes, this podcast comes with a Ukrainian accent and a whole lot of straight talk. So if you've ever asked yourself, how do I find clients? What should I charge? Can I really do this? The answer is absolutely yes, and you're in the right place, my friend. Let's dive in. Today, I'm beyond excited because I get to introduce you not to just an inspiring entrepreneur, but also a real-life friend. You are about to meet Cristina Mas Adler, a powerhouse founder, CEO, and a community leader who's been shaping the future of Miami's business and nonprofit scenes for nearly a decade. Cristina started CIM Consulting back in 2015, and what began as a happy accident has turned into a thriving, award-winning agency that's worked with everyone from the Miami Marathon to iconic local hotspots like Sushi Maki and Pilos. She's also a force for good, deeply involved in initiatives like the Underline and the Cuban-American National Foundation, just to name a few. In this episode, Cristina and I talk about what it's really like to build a business from the ground up, the messy moments, the mindset shifts, the importance of setting boundaries early, and how she's learned to balance ambition with self-care. Hint, it involves workouts, email boundaries, and a whole lot of trust in the process. We also get real about the challenges of hiring, letting go, and protecting your peace as you grow. If you ever wondered, can I really build a business while still having a life I love? This conversation is your green light. So grab your coffee, get comfy, and let's dive into this heart-to-heart with the brilliant, driven, and wonderfully real Cristina Mas Adler. So Cristina, welcome to Marketing Your Way podcast. I'm so excited to have you here. Could you please briefly introduce yourself? So who is Cristina Mas Adler and what inspired you to start CIM Consulting?
That makes me sound way more important than I am. I am Cristina Mas Adler and born and raised in Miami. I'm a native. I started my company I thought it was 10 years ago, but LinkedIn reminded me it was 9 years ago. So I'm fighting with LinkedIn over how much time. And what inspired me to start it, honestly, it was a happy accident. I think somewhere inside of me, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew I wanted to have my own thing. I've always had a very strong drive and hustle that I don't honestly know where it comes from, but I had just a friend who became a client hire me, and then that kind of rolled from 1 to 2 to 3, and then I realized that I think I just started a business and had to kind of do all the things to, start that business and all the things it means.
Amazing. So what type of services were you providing at the beginning when you just started? Was that event planning? What was it?
So at the beginning, it was just consulting. So I was consulting for a financial services firm, doing business development for them. So making introductions and helping their team meet other people, influential people in Miami, and helping grow their services. I worked with a startup and helped them with their marketing. So we did a lot of market research. It was actually like an Uber for Medicare and Medicaid patients. And so we did all the logo, we did the website. And then that company ended up getting sold. We actually passed some legislation as well, so it was pretty cool. And then the third company was a nonprofit where I helped them build out their young professional group and help them with some events. So a little bit all over, but that kind of all ties into what we still do.
Amazing. So looking back, what was one thing you wish you had known before starting your own business?
So many things. There are so many things. I mean, in the moment when you start your business, it's kind of just like learn by the seat of your pants. If there is a book, I didn't hear about it. And it was just kind of trial by fire. I think, importantly is just trying to automate as much as you can, whether that's scheduling meetings with clients or I think I spent a lot of time doing manual invoices instead of like automating. And so I would just recommend automating as much as you can. Even like right now, my team, and again, I have a team now, so we use Asana and things like that just to streamline our processes. So all of that just kind of helps, especially with the client interface. A lot of times, remove the need for constant conversation with clients if you're very forthcoming of where you are on a project. So those are kind of the things I would have maybe done earlier, but it's still changing and growing. So who knows?
Exactly. That's what I felt like. If I were to start recording my processes from the beginning, it would be so much easier to train people, right? So that was a big lesson for me as well. So how did you handle fear and self-doubt during this journey, especially in the early age stages?
Well, I actually built my business while having a full-time job. So I think that fear of how am I going to pay my rent was not as strong as other people have had it. That being said, when I decided to quit my full-time job and go full-time on the consulting business, it was kind of like, oh my God, how am I going to pay my rent? And, I think what I just realized and what I continue to do is head down, do the best you can do every day, delegate the things that you can, review the things that you delegate, because at the end of the day, it's still my name. And so until someone gets to that point where I trust them implicitly, I review everything myself. Luckily for me at the moment, it's not that many things, but I still have that fear, right? Where's my business going to be in 9 months from now? So, it doesn't go away. It's just I think time helps heal the imposter syndrome.
I like that. Do you remember what was like that turning point when you knew that you have to leave your full-time job to continue building your business?
Funny enough, the moment that I made that decision was when I met my husband, who wasn't my husband, obviously, at the time. But I was working, my schedule was from 5 to 8 a.m. I would, go to the gym, work on my business for those couple hours, and then go into the office. And then from 9 to 5, I would use my lunch break, work on my business. And then from 5 until 10, 11, whatever, I'd work on my business. So I really had no social life, let alone, love life. And so when I met my husband, I realized it wasn't feasible to have no extra time and work every weekend. And so that's when I made the decision, to be honest.
So it's funny enough because I feel like that was kind of, we met our husbands at the same time.
We did.
So Cristina and my husband happen to be really good friends. So that's how I think officially we met through Alexi originally. Right. And then Zach reintroduced us. You are well known for your philanthropic efforts and commitment to making an impact in Miami community. How has this shaped your personal brand and the way you approach your business?
Yeah, I'm really fortunate that I grew up in a family that giving back and volunteering is something that's extremely important. I think I started volunteering in junior high, probably before that, but, between church and things like that. And it's always something that's been important to me. Cities aren't built by themselves. They're built by other people giving back to other people. And so it's just something that I've always loved and enjoyed. And I think it shaped my personal brand just in the sense of an approaching business. In my opinion, any good person, any good business leader also puts the community first, right? So at the end of the day, you're there to make money, you're there to help your clients, but like, how else are you making an impact? Which is why I also love working with nonprofits, because we're able to do our work, but also be creative and work with other amazing nonprofits in the community that are doing amazing work. We get to learn about that. We get to help spread their mission, raise awareness. And so that's one of the things that I really love as well.
What nonprofits are you working on right now?
So currently we work with the Clio Institute. That's one of our clients at the moment. We work with YWCA. We are also working with the Underline. I think those are the three we're working with right now.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And you are a little shy about it, but you just recently received a reward from Coral Gables Museum. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I just got the Civic Arts Award from the Coral Gables Museum at their Centennial Gala because 15 years ago, when the museum opened, I was one of their founding board members, and I created their young professional group. And through that, I worked with the museum for 5 years as a volunteer. I built them a young professional group, and in my 5-year tenure, we raised about $500,000 for the museum. We did a very successful event, which wasn't the only thing we did, but probably, as people back then remember, Party on the Plaza, and that featured Alex Maharis. That was the first time, he's a big artist now, the first time he ever featured his art. And so that's really, I think, what catapulted a lot of, I want to say, my philanthropy and as you mentioned, like, approaching business as an adult. Because I think I really understood volunteering in that as a kid, right? As pre-college and post-college, because I think there's a difference. And that really changed that. And I'm very happy to know that the Young Associates is still like active, and that it makes me feel like all my effort didn't go to waste. And B, it does make me feel like maybe I did leave a little legacy and an actual lasting impact on the community, which feels nice.
Now, congratulations. You deserve it all, because I know how much time and effort that takes. And sometimes you feel like that is your full-time job, especially before baby months. So what are 3 actionable steps you'd recommend for someone who's starting out the business, for someone who's considering to start the business?
Think about your name, because, for example, I'm in the process of rebranding and getting away from it being just my name, because I think as a sole proprietor, then people always expect you. And that's not feasible as you continue to grow your business. That's like a huge piece of advice I think I'd give people, is really think about the name. Again, you can change it later, but again, people know me, Cristina Mas, and I am the brand, but try to do it in a way that you can't have every client always want to talk to you, text you, email you, have a meeting with you. It's not feasible to scale. So that's probably one piece of advice I would have. The second is what we mentioned earlier. Try to automate as much as you can and spend your time wisely. Shouldn't be sending invoices these days. I guess the third would be make sure to keep a work-life balance, whatever that means. Whether that's 1 hour at the gym, dinner with your family every Sunday, you need, especially in those early years or times, you need something that's going to keep your head on straight in those moments where you're like, oh my God, what am I doing?
Quick break to let you know, if this episode has you thinking, okay, I'm ready to do this, but where do I actually start? I created something just for you. It's called the 48-Hour Plan, Launch Your Marketing Business This Weekend. It's a 1-hour workshop that shows you exactly how to take your skills, turn them into a clear service package, and get your business basics set up fast. In just 48 hours, you'll be ready to pitch your services and take on your first client without the overwhelm or overthinking. You can sign up now at marketingyourwaypodcast.com/workshop. It's marketingyourwaypodcast.com/workshop. So what is your self-care routine right now? What is it that what do you do for that balance? Because it's easy to be all involved in your business and have a really hard time to disconnect, especially if you work from home, like I do. So
me too. Well, I have an office, but I don't go to it. It's more convenient to work from home. I work out every day. I do not answer any work emails, text messages, phone calls. If it's outside the hours of 9 to 5, my phone goes on Do Not Disturb. And I'm currently on a 24-hour email delay. So if you emailed me yesterday, you get the response today. If you email me today, you get the response tomorrow, unless I see it and it's a 911. Because I also think technology has made everyone think they deserve an answer today. It happened literally with someone who emailed me yesterday and messaged the client as to why I didn't respond. It's been less than 24 hours. It is not a 911.
That's what I say to myself. Marketing is never an emergency. Like, if we're not saving lives, I understand that every request is important. And I have what I set up for myself is that I answer emails in the morning and at night, and I try not to look in between, just because I cannot get anything done what was on my list if I continuously check my email.
Oh, my list has been moved from things you do yesterday you're supposed to do today, and they'll probably get done tomorrow.
Yes.
Because of the amount of emails.
So I started using the Full Focus Planner by Michael Hyatt, and I think that kind of shifted the way I do work. So every day I set up 3 main things that needs to be done, and then there was the rest of the things that needs to be done. And if I accomplish those first 3 things on my list, that's a good day. And then I can move the others to the next day. And it's been working pretty well.
I'm looking it up right now.
So what were some of the challenges you faced in building your business, and how did you overcome them?
I'm thinking back, and it's and I know that it wasn't easy, but I think figuring out what else we could do, right? So you start with one service, or you start with one thing that you know you can do, and then a client asks for something else, and you either figure it out or hire someone to help you figure it out. I think one of the biggest challenges is always how to hire people, and balancing how much, is the business making versus how much can you pay. I think that's huge, and something that I look at probably every single day is my company budget, just to see how those pieces fit together. Really, the challenges I do truly feel is just work-life balance and boundaries, right? Not everything, just because somebody wants something now, it doesn't mean it has to be. And learning I had a meeting today with someone. They're like, oh, well, we'll send you this. And I'm like, look, to be honest, I'm not going to get to this till the end of next week. It's I have a huge event this weekend, and I'm about to be head down. So I think it's also, you don't have to be available 24/7. I had a client yesterday send me 10 emails and then want to get on a phone. I was like, nope, I am in meetings all day. So sorry. I'm super happy you're back from vacation, and I'm super excited the other one's about to go on vacation, but we cannot. No, I cannot.
Yeah, I think that was one of the biggest lessons, because I've always been a yes woman. So if someone asks me to do something, I say yes, and then I figure it out. And a lot of times, now, I also would I'll say yes if this is something that is in the services that I provide, but I also give them much longer time for me to do it, so I don't stress myself out, because I still will make sure that I deliver when I say I will deliver. But then it just gives way too much stress on me. And that reflects the way I communicate with my husband, the way I communicate with my kids, how patient I am at home. I think that learning and giving the enough time for yourself, whatever is enough time plus adding extra 2 days, is good.
Yes.
The balance is a very important part of when you become an entrepreneur. I think it's very easy to lose the sight of yourself. So exercising, how does your day schedule look like? When do you start your day? When do you exercise?
I wake up at 6:45 every day because I have stepkids and they need to go to school. Once the last one is out of the house by 7:30, I'm in the gym by 7:45. So I work out from 7:45 to 8:45, come home, have breakfast, take a quick shower, and then either get in front of the computer. Today I went to a meeting and I didn't shower, and I'm still dressed in my gym clothes right now, but it was a casual meeting, so it's okay. Yeah. And just, right now, because we're in our season, this is truly season, I do a lot of phone calls from the car. Sometimes I will get an Uber to drive me to a meeting, just to have that extra, depending, especially in Miami where I'm going, to have the 45 minutes to be on the computer and not be driving. So it's, just kind of depend. Yeah. Just finding that balance. I'm personally also right now trying not to overcommit myself, while also knowing that there's a lot to do, which is also hard, but we'll get there.
Currently, what is CIM Consulting? What services do you provide?
Right. So I would say that we're a full service communications agency. So we can do everything starting from logo to brand book, website, social media, PR, graphic design, email marketing, and then event production. So we do SEO, social media ads, influencer campaigns.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that mostly local businesses, or do you do some national campaigns?
It's all local right now. We have worked with national businesses, but it just kind of ebbs and flows. But right now, yeah, everybody's local.
So the biggest challenge for me, I think, at the beginning was to outsource the tasks, right? And how to find people and how to work with them, how to train them. When do you need to be nice? When do you need to be a boss? And just like a balance of that. So how did you find that process? When did you start hiring? Can you walk me through your processes a little bit?
I mean, I'm still learning how to do that because, for better or worse, I'm not a Fortune 500 company that has a training manual and all the things of how to do. So it's a work in progress. I think the balance between boss and friend is something I always struggle with. I am very good at not texting my team about anything work related on the weekends or, out of my 9 to 5 rule, unless we're in the middle of an event or doing something. And then obviously we're on site. So that's something that I respect tremendously because I want other people to respect it as well. In terms of training, what I've learned and started doing is just doing a lot of one-on-one time. So we just recently hired an event manager who's been great and just been trying, we brought her into the office, sit down, and just include her in as many conversations as possible just to listen to start. But if you find the one size fits all answer, let me know because I'm still trying to figure that out.
Let's talk about email marketing. If you're over clunky platforms and wasting hours designing emails, it's time for a change. Meet Flowdesk, the easiest, most beautiful email marketing tool out there. Stunning templates, simple automation, no limits on subscribers or emails. And the best part, you get 50% off your first year. That's just $19 a month. Grab your deal now at marketingyourwaypodcast.com/Flowdesk. It's marketingyourwaypodcast.com/FLODESK. Yes. What happened with me, I think that I offered a few internships because I do think that they are very valuable. And I happened to find really good people like that to train them through the process of internship. And then after all, I would hire them to do some part-time work. So I haven't gotten to a point where I hired full-time in my business. So all of my work that I outsource is contractor based, which has been working really well for me. But yes, finding good people, it's a lot of trial and error. Did you have to fire anyone? For me, it's difficult to let people go because I like to give them a lot of chances.
I fire people all the time. I'm actually really good at firing people.
Okay, please tell me.
For better or worse, I have very high standards. I need you to be quick. I need you to be good, but I also need you to be thorough. And if those 3 things can't work, and I will know very quickly, bye. I don't I'm just too fast. Yes. So I am just like a no hearts feeling kind of person. Like, thank you so much. Go with God. I'm sure you're a lovely human, but this is not the right company for you. I also have a great CFO who also helps me bad cop sometimes when I feel bad being bad cop. Okay. But for the most part, everyone we've fired has not done anything or billed hours that we know they didn't actually bill, which is just absolutely crazy. There's no way you did 57 hours of work, that makes no sense in any world. Good.
That's a really good attitude because a lot of times you can't keep the bad apples in your company.
No, and even, we've had people leave and it's just been their time and that just always feels a little bit better too. I also believe the universe gives you what you need and takes away what you don't need. And so luckily right now I've been really good that I haven't had to do that because it's unpleasant, but it's not personal, it's business at that point.
Correct. Yes. So if you could leave our listeners with one key takeaway about pursuing their own marketing business, what would that be?
Figure out what you're really good at and just focus on that one thing to start. I would just focus on that one thing, get really good at it. And then once you're really good at that, they'll ask you, can you also do X, Y, and Z? And then you can figure that out. But get good at one thing, be very clear on one thing. It doesn't need to necessarily be in one market. or one industry, but get really good at that one thing. And that's what you start with.
I love it. So what's next for CIM Consulting and your personal journey as entrepreneur?
Well, we're rebranding.
Okay.
So hopefully that will be launched in the next few months. So we're keeping CIM, but it'll be a different name, TBD. Follow us to find out what it is. So we're rebranding, which is exciting. So, all new pictures, websites, all of that. Exciting projects. This week we have the marathon. Next week we have 2 events. Then we have, we produce all the rugby games for the Miami Sharks.
Nice.
So we'll be doing all of their 8 home season games. South Beach Food and Wine Festival. And I have a couple possible projects and proposals with clients that would be amazing to get. And, just back to the point of I'm very super happy and very grateful with the people that I have on the team right now. And just I want to take and invest more time in them and make sure they're really happy and they feel really good with their work, and really being like a good leader who's a listener and like, what tools do they need? How can I help them be more efficient? Because I think that's also one of the things I do want to start focusing on is efficiency, whether it's a new platform, a new system, like what can I do as the business leader, owner, to help them be more efficient with their time so that they also feel like they have a work-life balance, right? And sometimes it's as easy as Asana, right? We got the Asana board. That was helpful. Or getting a floor plan software that's like very user-friendly. It's $150 a year, and it
helps you tremendously,
right?
To save hours.
Correct. And so those, I think, is where I want to focus, is on supporting my team and growing my team. And I think, if you do that, everything else comes with it. Let's hope, no?
Yes, exactly. I was just actually talking to one of my team members, and I was saying that online business, yes, like I work from home, everyone is remote, but our rent is really like all of the software that we are purchasing and buying for the team to use. So that's part of the rent, pretty much, but it's cost of doing business. Is there any book that kind of shifted your perspective on how you do business? Or
not how I do business, and now I'm like literally trying to see if you have the book, because Atomic Habits, that's what it's called. It looks just like this, but it's not that. It is not a business book, but I will tell you the book, and I read it every year. It's Atomic Habits. And one of the things they talk about is, I don't know if he calls it stack building, but he calls it habit building, right? So it's like in the morning when I have my coffee, I take my vitamins and also do my break. And it's just like stacking these habits. Like when I'll turn on the shower to get it hot, I'll do my meditation at that point. And it's how do you stack your habits to make sure, even if it's a small pocket of time, to do all the things that make you feel good, again, personally in your business. And how do you do that, right? So Atomic Habits, that's the book.
Nice.
It's great. I can't remember the name of the guy who wrote it, but
yes,
it's great.
I have it on my Audible, and I haven't gotten to listen to it yet. I love listening, but a lot of times I do need to read, especially books that have a lot of advice. So I'm more visual, I guess, skills. Thank you so much, Cristina.
Of course.
Just to finish up, please tell us how everyone can find you if they want to learn about CIM Consulting, the services you provide. So, your website, your social media channels, etc.
Yep. So our website right now is CristinaMas.com. Again, that may change in the near future. And our social media is CIM_Miami.
Quick break to let you know, if this episode has you thinking, okay, I'm ready to do this, but where do I actually start? I created something just for you. It's called the 48-Hour Plan, Launch Your Marketing Business This Weekend. It's a 1-hour workshop that shows you exactly how to take your skills, turn them into a clear service package, and get your business basics set up fast. In just 48 hours, you'll be ready to pitch your services and take on your first client without the overwhelm or overthinking. You can sign up now at marketingyourwaypodcast.com/workshop. It's marketingyourwaypodcast.com/workshop. And that would be it for today's episode of Marketing Your Way podcast. I hope you are walking away with fresh ideas, new insights, and the confidence to take your next step. If this episode spoke to you, please do me a favor and leave a review. It will help more marketing experts like you to find the show and build their dream business. And hey, don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss a new episode. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Until next time, keep building your marketing business your way.